Hey pumpkins! If you're new, welcome to my channel. My name is Caroline Ironwill and I am a professional tarot consultant. You can book a private reading for yourself at carolинeironwill.com. The link is below. During the month of December, I am having a 2-for-1 special. So if you book an hour-long tarot reading in the month of December, you can have an hour-long tarot reading in January. Now, you don't have to use it yourself, you can give it to someone else. So it would make a perfect Christmas gift for you to give someone a tarot reading. Probably not something they already have, probably something they could use, and definitely something they will appreciate. So go to carolинeironwill.com or you can email me, caroline@carolинeironwill.com for more information. I wanted to address some issues that have been brought to my attention about my tarot reading on Jana Duggar the other day. I don't know why I keep having to give this caveat, as I'm a tarot channel, but apparently I do. Off. This is not an insult to Christians or anyone who practices any other religion. If you are different than me, you are welcome here and we can have conversations. However, it is not okay to be a dick in the comments. So if you are insulting me, telling me you see demons in my eyes, or that you, because yeah, somebody actually did that, or acting like your religion is the default truth because it is more popular and therefore more valid than my religion, that's dick behavior. So don't go there. Also, please don't just comment that tarot is evil, tarot is a sin, because this is a tarot and magic channel, and if you don't believe in tarot and you don't believe in magic, why are you here? Is it for the KJ hate? Because I stopped doing that a long time ago. I made a video, and I'll link it below, of why Katie Joy doesn't bring me joy, so I might do the occasional reading on stuff that is going on with KJ, but otherwise, like, I'm not a KJ hate channel. I'm also not a Duggar hate channel. I've done less than a handful of videos on the Duggars, and I might do more. I want to do one on Jill coming up, but I'm not a Duggar channel. In fact, I believe that readings should have 4 to 6 weeks time in between, so I'm not capitalizing on anything. I'm certainly not making 3 videos a day like some other channels, so yeah, get off my case about that. I make videos on trending topics that interest me. Right now, the Duggars are trending, and I am fascinated by cults, and always have been. Probably because I've been in 2, so I kind of want to have the warning sign so I don't end up doing that again. So I follow Duggar Tea, I guess, Duggar News, and I try to talk about things from a very respectful and compassionate and kind point of view, but there were some who said that I shouldn't be making that video at all. So I wanted to touch on some points, and I have a page of notes here that I want to talk about, so I hope this video isn't too long. I will try to edit it down if I can, but there were some points that I wanted to talk about. The first was some errors that I made. You all need to stop this, just like KJ, as a pejorative, because she's in a category all on her own, and I think that although I have left the KJ truther, exposed KJ, anti-KJ community, I have made acquaintances and friends with some people who are in it, and I still enjoy their content, so I get an idea of what's happening a bit, but I find that a lot of people, when they want to insult someone, and because there's been so much drama when somebody takes sides, the insult they want to give is just like KJ. And the fact that I'm admitting I made some errors is me, probably not being like KJ. I'm kind of like the, antithesis of the shit she pulls, but anyways, I did make some factual errors. Other channels were reporting that Jana had been arrested. I swore I saw a picture of her in cuffs, but I may have misremembered that, and that's something that actually happened. So I think I saw that, but my mind might be tricking me. So she was not arrested, she was cited. And okay, so other channels were reporting that. I kind of assumed that they were accurate. Maybe I should have done some fact checking, but I'm not, trying to talk about facts. I'm trying to talk about tarot, which is an art, which is a language. But that's not to say that I don't have responsibility for spreading false information. So I was wrong. I am sorry. Jana was not arrested. She was cited for a misdemeanor. There is a difference. And I was inaccurate because I had got false information myself and assumed it was true. Secondly, I got the dates wrong. So I said that Jana was up all night with the baby, and there were cards that were talking about, like, nurturing a young one. And I just kind of assumed that because the information came out the day after Josh's verdict that it was the newborn. And I had said that she was with the newborn, and the newborn wasn't even born yet. So that was inaccurate. I made an assumption because I do think that Jana was up the night before with a kid who missed their mom. And that clearly wasn't the baby, the newborn, because they weren't born yet. Okay. That doesn't mean that any of the other 6 weren't crying and missing their mom and having a rough night. That doesn't mean that any of them weren't, having an ear infection or had an upset stomach or whatever, or just missed their mom or had a bad dream and couldn't sleep. Kids have sleep issues for a number of reasons and need comfort. Regardless of which kid it was, I don't think that that's super important. And if I misremembered Jana being in cuffs, maybe I saw something photoshopped. I had looked for the photo after and couldn't find it. So maybe I just misremembered, that's fine. I actually had a lot of trouble finding a photo of Jana not smiling. That this entire situation was unfortunate and was a mistake that could happen to anyone. Now, I had said some things about such a large family and it being wrong that Jana was in charge of all these kids, and I want to make it clear that I wasn't trying to shame large families. It is possible to have a large family and to be healthy. In decades past, there have been large families that were healthy. I don't think that the way that Michelle Duggar and Jim Bob Duggar have structured their family is healthy. I disagree with the parentification of children. And even though Jana is 31, I think that saddling her with everybody's kids is unethical. I think that it is wrong, and I think that, it's one thing to ask your kid to babysit once in a while. I think that the buddy system is wrong. I think that if you're going to choose to have that many children, that you should take responsibility for them. And I do believe that Michelle Duggar is lazy, and she has said many times that basically she hands the baby off as soon as they're weaned, and they go to a buddy, and that's it. I don't believe that that is ethical. I don't want it to seem like I'm telling you how many kids you're allowed to have, or that if you have X amount of kids that your family is going to be unhealthy. I personally believe that smaller families are better for a person's health and better for the environment. I chose to have 1 kid. I think there was a time when I was open to having a second one, but for me, I don't want the kids to outnumber the grown-ups. If they're gonna declare war, I want the numbers advantage. Studies have shown that the best way to empower a woman is to allow her to choose how many children that she is going to have, and with the exception of some quiverful families with their philosophy, most women choose to have fewer. That is not every woman, but having many children does make things very difficult for women to gain financial independence, to have their own career, to attend school, to leave if their marriage is unhealthy. So I think that there are things to consider. I understand that their religion doesn't believe that, and when I say their religion, I'm talking about their individual sect. I'm not talking about Christianity in general, because I think that Christianity can be healthy, but I don't think that the Duggar's version of Christianity is healthy. And I think that there are some religious movements that encourage women to have many children to control them. I am not saying that this is every quiverful family, but I am saying that I think that in some instances, even in some individual families, if a woman is, settled down from the age of, 18 or sometimes much younger with many, many, many children, that this stops her from leaving. And I think I see this a lot in extreme polygamy, the FLDS, things like that, where if a woman has 10 kids and her husband is unkind to her, she can't do anything because moving 10 kids is, you can't just leave in the middle of the night. So I think that family size is complex. This isn't communist China. You make your decisions for you and your family. I am not going to tell you how many kids you are and are not allowed to have, but I do think that there should be thought and planning to go into parenthood. Can we say that? Okay. So I think those are the errors that I made. And in looking at, let's look at what tarot is and what tarot can tell and what tarot can't tell. I love tarot. It is a language. It is beautiful. It is my passion. I can talk about tarot forever. That's why I have a YouTube channel about tarot. Tarot is excellent with themes. Tarot does not tell details. I can tell you through tarot what your grandparents' marriage was like. I cannot tell you your grandparents' wedding anniversary. I cannot tell you your grandmother's shoe size. I can look at the themes. How do I decide these themes? I'm not psychic. I never use the word psychic to describe myself. I am not a medium. I am a tarot reader. So this is a tarot deck. It is ink and cardstock. There are 78 cards, both with reversed and upright meanings. Not everyone reads the same way. It is a language. Each deck is kind of like a dialect or an accent. When I do the Celtic Cross, which is a spread that I typically do when I do tarot readings, it's a very good catch-all spread, there are positions in what's called the spread, and then they tell a story. I will do a video at some point on the Celtic Cross and how to do the Celtic Cross. It's a lot of fun. Once you get the hang of it, it really is a game changer. So, I'm going to do a random, let's pick a topic that I'm going to do just a random spread on. Will Madonna release a new album this year? I have no idea. And it doesn't matter. This tells a clear story. I can see just through looking at this. We've got the world as the situation. Body, Ace of Wands. Mind, Hangman reversed. Spirit, Ten of Pence. Looking at these cards, I am thinking that yes, she is going to release a new album this year. Okay, so what are we talking about year? It's currently 2021. Do I think that she's going to release an album before January 1st? I don't know. I don't think so. Does this mean that before 365 days from now that there's going to be an album released? Tarot doesn't get into detail like that, but it does talk about themes. So I look at the world being something that is whole and complete and finished. Sometimes little things will pop out at me, so what I'm seeing here is also a disc. Now, I mean, CDs are kind of a thing of the past, records are a thing of the past, but this to me looks like one last one, and that wraps up her career. Ace of Wands, the physical. Madonna is a pop star who is in fantastic shape for her age. I forget how old she is. I'm gonna Google and I'll put it down at the bottom. She's in fantastic shape. She works out. She does yoga. She does all these things. She's in good shape. Heck, people talk about like how, you know, she looks really weird now. I mean, yeah, she's had some work done, but if I can look like that at that age, then yeah, I'm cool. So I think that her body is still great, and she's gonna show women that you can be 70 and you can still be sexy and you can still be hot and you can still bust a move and dance on stage and you can still Vogue or whatever it is she's going to do now. Hanged Man reversed. She's going to act in the way that she's supposed to act. Yeah, she's going to follow suit and do things that are expected of her, and this is going to be kind of... It's very hard for Madonna to shock us anymore, and I think that Madonna is going to do Madonna. But I do think that she's going to retire, and in looking at this too, old money... inheritance, things like that. I don't know how old Lourdes is, or yeah, this looks like an end closure, money closure. So yeah, I think that she's looking at she may be looking at inheritance for her kids and how much that is. So looking at like the end of life and what that looks like, even though I mean she's probably got many years left in her. She could become a grandmother soon, and again, I don't know how old Lourdes is, and God, what's her middle one's name? And I know David's the little one. He's probably too young for that. But yeah, she could be looking at like legacy of her family and you know, spending time with a grandkid if she has one. So that's a reading. That is not a psychic sense. This is me looking at cards and telling a story. Can I get details wrong sometimes? Sure. But this story I think is pretty sound. Can I interpret the cards wrong in the story? Sure. I mean, this could be looking end of that, you know, she looks at that her career is complete. Like, I don't think that she's going to be releasing 5 more albums. I think that she's got 1 left. That's what the cards are saying in that story. She could croak tomorrow. I don't know. But when you hear tarot readers talk about I'm 97% accurate or 99% accurate, usually talking in percentiles is a red flag of readers, because real readers don't talk like that. And then there's things that I'm very good at predicting. These themes. My specialty in tarot is looking at someone's potential, looking at someone's higher self, looking at someone's purpose in life. And I don't think that that's set in stone. I think that we have control over how we live our lives. So Madonna could decide, she could see this and be like, yeah, screw Caroline, I'm going to create 6 more albums, and I'm going to do it in 2024. That's a thing that could happen, because she decided that. So that also would look at, and so if somebody came back to me and said, hey, Madonna didn't release an album in 2022, instead she released 6 in 2024, Caroline, you're wrong, you're full of shit. Well, no, because the decisions changed and the energy changed around that. So, I encourage people to live to their full potential. I encourage people to make better decisions. And that's why I read cards that are reversed, and I will tell someone bad news so that they have a chance to fix that and to do better. Some are saying that I should not have done a tarot reader on Jana because she is a Christian. This hurts my heart when I hear someone say that tarot is against their religion, because it's not. And I know that there are going to be some who will comment, the Bible is very clear that tarot is a sin. No, the Bible didn't. If you would like to go toe-to-toe with me and talk about scripture, let's do it. It's on. Chose to reject Christianity because I read the Bible. And if you think that it is possible to practice the Bible 100% true and not get thrown in jail, then I think that you possibly need to reread your scripture, because I think that it is impossible to live according to a biblical life and not cherry pick, because you can use the Bible to justify anything. And I think a lot of what the Bible is used for is to control others. Namely, for men who were in power to maintain power and maintain their control over women and of others below them. That is what I think. I think that there are some beautiful parts to the Bible. I think that there are some parts of the Bible that might be divinely inspired. I think that the 2 Corinthians, love is patient, love is kind, is so touching. I love when I hear that at weddings. What I don't love to hear is the Apostle Paul saying that if a woman is raped within city limits, then it's her fault because she didn't scream loud enough and now she's forced to marry her rapist. That's in the Bible too. Are you in agreement with that? So again, like, you can believe what you want, but if you want to use scripture as a way to justify something toxic, if you have not read the Bible, if you don't know it well cover to cover, this is not a conversation you want to have with me. There will be a video coming at some point on tarot and religion. Tarot was invented in the Renaissance era. It was actually invented as a game first, not as divination. So the Bible doesn't say boo about tarot. And I know that you're probably going to talk about, how soothsayers and blah. I'm not a soothsayer. I'm not a sorcerer. I'm not a witch. By the way, if you want to believe that the Bible is the inerrant word of God and that you should follow all of the commandments, Exodus 22:18 requires you to murder witches. So if a modern Wicca says that they are a witch, you are ordered to kill them. You are ordered to not allow them to suffer as a witch. So how many witches have you killed? And if that number is 0, then you are not practicing the Bible. If that number is more than 0, then you deserve to be in jail. So much for that being biblical law. You know what else is against biblical law? Tattoos. If you are on this channel and you are commenting about what a sin tarot is, are you going to tattoo channels and telling them how sinful they are? Are you going to Jill Duggar's channel and telling her how sinful she is for getting a tattoo? If I got a tattoo of Jana Duggar on my shoulder, I'm not going to get the Duggars' faces or anything tattooed on me, would you be telling me that I shouldn't do it because of Jana's religion? Of course not. But there's been this narrative that has been developed about what tarot is and is not, which is not accurate by the church, and I believe that it's put there to disempower people. And so, for me, tarot is a form of empowerment, and tarot gives me insight and knowledge that I wouldn't otherwise have, so that I can live my life more fuller, and I cannot be subjugated because I read tarot. You want to know what else is against biblical law? Wearing a fabric worn of 2 materials. So I'm going to take my shirt off. No, it's not that kind of channel. I actually don't know what this is made of. This is 25% rayon, 5% spandex, and 70% polyester. Wearing this will send me to hell, because that is a sin. If you're going to comment on how my channel is sinful, check your own labels. Take the log out of your own eye before you judge me. We also can't assume that being Christian by definition means that Jana is anti-tarot. I have many clients who are Christian, and the sad thing is, many of them come to me afraid because they've been told lies about what tarot is and what tarot isn't. I know that they could benefit from a reading, but they're scared. And they're scared because some man in a pulpit told them something that wasn't true. Tarot is not scary. If you've had a reading from me, I am looking at ways that you can make your life better. I'm also a certified coach practitioner with a degree in psych. So I'm using all those skills and I'm like, okay, here's where your life is now. If you're feeling stuck, this is where you need to go. Maybe look into this, maybe research this. Have you thought about this? That's how I read tarot. It is a powerful and beautiful experience. It's not scary. There are no angels or demons or anything involved in my tarot readings. There are some tarot readers, like B. Lucille, who will call upon spirit. I'm not sure which spirit, but spirit, when she does tarot readings. But I don't. I mean, there are some people who call upon spirits. I'm not sure which one. There are lots of types of spirits, and not all of them have your best interest in mind. But anyway, I digress. When they go to the grocery store. But there are also atheists who read tarot, and who are very good at tarot. So believing in tarot doesn't necessarily mean that somebody is a Christian. Being my client doesn't mean that somebody is not Christian. We can't go into this fallacy of, oh, well, if your clients believe in tarot, then they're not a real Christian. What that is called is the no true Scotsman fallacy, which is essentially saying that, well, a real Scotsman wears a kilt. A real Scotsman eats his oatmeal as thick as a brick. A real Scotsman does this, which is nonsense. If someone identifies as a Christian, then they're a Christian, and it is not our place to make a judgment call on what their religion is. We're going to take them at their word. I have done tarot readings for several celebrities on my channel. I've done tarot readings for Paul Rudd, who's Jewish. I've done 3 or 4 tarot videos on Britney Spears. I've done tarot readings on Joe Biden and Donald Trump. I'm not talking about where your politics lie, but they both identify as Christian. Why is Jana Duggar different? Because she's a real Christian? Because she's a fundamentalist? We don't know what Jana thinks about tarot. We don't. Maybe Jana is gifted at tarot. Maybe Jana and Laura sit on the bedroom floor and have hour-long tarot gab sessions like I'd like to do with my friends. We don't know. So I don't think that it's fair to assume that because Jana is Christian, that is antithetical to tarot, because it's not. And if you think that tarot is sinful and should never be touched by anyone who practices Christianity, I think that maybe you should A, read your Bible again, B, keep your judgment to yourself, C, maybe do some historical research on the rich and beautiful tradition of Jewish astrology, because that's a thing. The Bible's full of magic. The Bible is full of burning bushes and divination cups and rods being turned into serpents and turning water into wine, and the Bible is magic. The Bible has so much divination in it. I hear you say, well, that's of God, and tarot is not of God. How do we know if something is of God? Put your hand up. If you remember, how do you know if something is of God? Cue the Jeopardy music if we're going to be doing some Bible trivia. We know that something is of God or not of God because of the fruits of the Spirit. And if I can remind you, I wrote them down. The fruits of the Spirit are love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, generosity, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Again, love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, generosity, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. I want you to watch any one of my Tarot Tuesday videos. And I want you to ask yourself, if when I'm giving a tarot reading, if you are seeing love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, generosity, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Because these are aspects that I value as a non-Christian in my professionalism as a tarot reader. Then I want you to go watch Jim Bob Duggar and him saying on stage, although there's no video footage, that he doesn't remember Josh confessing what he did to his daughters. I want you to hear about Michelle Duggar spreading fear about trans people in women's washrooms when she kept a pedophile in her own house. I want you to see Kenneth Copeland or Pastor Greg Locke or Pastor Robin Bullock spewing their hate from the pulpit. And I want you to look for love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, generosity, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Because I think that you will see a lot more of that in my tarot readings than you will see from these other self-identified Christians who spread hate. Now we get to the issue of consent, and I've talked about this on my channel before. I do not feel that I need the consent of a public figure to create YouTube content about them, regardless of whether it's tarot, regardless of whether it's gossip, regardless of whether it's my opinion. This is what people do on YouTube, is they talk about public figures. Within tarot, there are many schools of thought. There are schools of thought about whether something is, whether you should read upright and reverse cards or just upright. There are divisions and camps of whether you should buy your first tarot deck yourself or whether you should only have it as a gift. There are divisions about so many things in tarot because it's a thing and humans will argue about anything. One of the other things is that you need someone's consent to read tarot. And the thing with tarot is that there is no law book. There is no rule book. We all need to decide which ethics work for us and which ethics don't. There is no rule in tarot about confidentiality. However, for me, for my professionalism, if I have a client, I do not tell someone that they were my client without their permission. I do not say the details of their reading. Sometimes I will use aspects of their reading as an example. So maybe, I had a client one time that had this card come up and for them it meant this. That is a thing that I will do, but I will not say, I read for this person and this is what's happening. I have read for Hollywood celebrities. Okay, I need to correct that. I have read for one A-list Hollywood celebrity. Yes, you have heard her name. Yes, you've probably watched her movies. I am not going to tell you who she is. And the details of that reading I actually saw on TMZ or TMZ. I feel weird calling it TMZ. TMZ. A few months later. So that was really, really cool. So I want to read for a second Hollywood celebrity, and then I can be tarot reader to the stars, because right now I'm just tarot reader to the star. I was going to do some tarot work with Toronto International Film Festival, but again, because COVID, that's been put on hold. I differentiate, though, between readings for entertainment and readings for healing. So if I have a client, to me, that is different than reading for entertainment. And so when I do a reading on Jana Duggar or Britney Spears or Kanye West or Paul Rudd or the Suez Canal or the Cecil Hotel, to me, that these are readings for entertainment. And even though they are entertainment, I still maintain a great degree of professionalism and respect and compassion. But even when I give readings for clients, it is very common that I'm asked about other people. I had a client recently who was concerned about her teenage son, and we looked at some of the cards, and it talked about like some other mental health stuff that could have possibly be going on with her son. So we made an action plan for her to contact her doctor and contact her pediatrician and have a game plan going for how she could best maximize her son's potential. I think her son was 14. It's not uncommon for me to have someone saying, my husband and I have drifted apart. Is he cheating on me? That's something I get asked. There are some times when I won't answer a question because it's just really irrelevant. And Christiana Godet brought up a situation with a client of hers who their ex-husband had moved on with somebody else, and she wanted to know how crappy the sex was. And come on. That's not going to do anyone any good. So let's work on different things. Like, maybe a better thing would be like, how can you get over your ex so you don't care about what their sex life is like right now? That seems to me to be a better question than, you know, is she crappy in bed? Or sometimes I might get asked by an adult child, is it time to put my mom in a nursing home? And as I've worked in healthcare for 20 years almost, that's something that I can use some professional skills outside of tarot and start to problem solve with that. And maybe if all they need is somebody to come over and help them with the shower once or twice a week, then, you know, we can help them stay at home. Maybe they need guardrails, or maybe it is time for them to go to a nursing home. And so I can use tarot to kind of look at that situation and apply that with my other skills. So yes, I absolutely do tarot readings on other people without their consent. That is not uncommon. In fact, when I started reading tarot, I started because, being autistic, I am very poor at body language. I'm very poor at looking at somebody's true intentions. And in dating, I was routinely attracted to men who were hurtful to me. So I started reading tarot so that I could see what their intentions really were, and I could stop myself from getting hurt. That's why I started reading tarot. So in many ways, tarot is an assistive tool for my disabilities. So when you say that tarot is evil, and tarot stops me from making poor decisions because it is an assistive tool for my disabilities, that's kind of hurtful. In fact, that's kind of a dick move. When, I mean, you wouldn't tell someone that, oh, you know, your hearing aid is sinful or your glasses are an abomination. So it's not okay to say that about tarot to me, because tarot has done such good in my life. That also being said, I suck at cold reading. I cannot read someone's body language. I cannot look at, you know, those kind of details and do a tarot reading on them. So those people who say that, oh, tarot readers, they just look at body, I can't. I'm autistic. That's actually part of my brain damage, is that I cannot look at your body language and decide. And if you ever watch my Tarot Tuesday videos, I can't see them. They ask a question. Sometimes I might ask for some clarification, but I don't know details. I don't know how they're sitting. I don't know what they're wearing. Some of my regular clients who I've done Zoom calls with, I can see them, so I know what they look like, but I don't rely on body language cues to read tarot. I can't. I physically can't do that. There was one celebrity who asked me not to read tarot on them, and that was Tati Westbrook. Tati, thank you. Tati Westbrook. She made a video, and she said some very mean and untrue things about tarot, and asked that no further videos be made about her. And I honored that 100%. She didn't ask for past videos to be taken down. I think that it is wrong, the things that she said. I think that it is unethical for her to try to dictate the content on my YouTube channel. But I have respected her. It was public pressure that wanted me to take down those videos. It was public pressure, not Tati, that wanted them deleted. It was public pressure that was saying that I was disrespecting Tati by not deleting them. Tati didn't ask that. Tati asked that no further videos be made about her, and I respected and complied 100%. What I didn't do was bow to public pressure. What I didn't do was join the hate mob. So I want to make that clear, that as a content creator, I will respect if a celebrity says that they don't want further tarot readings on them, but I'm not going to make assumptions about what their beliefs about tarot are or aren't, and I'm not going to tailor my content around public pressure, because that's not what I do. I make tarot videos about topics that I find interesting that are trending. I've been asked to make a few videos on the Sister Wives or on 90 Day Fiancé. I don't watch those shows, so I don't know. So I'm not going to do it. I was asked to do one on, was it Chloe or one of the Kardashian sisters, and I can't make myself care. And I'm not saying I want anything bad to happen, you know, best to them. I might do one on Kim and Kanye's divorce, because I kind of think that Kanye West is kind of fascinating. But this isn't about public pressure. This channel is almost a partnership between what I want to make and what my viewers want to see. So I'm not going to sell out, but I'm also not going to bow because the mob tells me something. So That needs to be said. I kind of do want to make more tarot videos on Girl Defined and on Paul and Morgan and on some of the other Christian talking heads. And maybe it's a bit trolling because they probably have misconceptions about tarot. But it's also my channel, and it's also the content that I can make. And as you know, I do tend to have a high level of professionalism, compassion, and respect when I'm talking about. So in conclusion, don't make assumptions. If you believe something, you should be interested in why you believe that and the history of why you believe that. This is my channel, and I will make content that I enjoy that you want to watch. I'm open to feedback, but I'm not open to being bullied into public pressure. And don't be a dick. Out, tarot clients. Thanks so much for watching. You can book a private tarot reading for yourself at carolyneironwell.com. Thank you so much to my members, especially to my top tier members, Cheryl, Yasmin, and Sandra. You are the best, and I appreciate you to the moon and stars. Consider becoming a member yourself. Every Tuesday, I give free sample readings to members. If you enjoyed this video, please do hit that like button. May you pray with a good fire.